Okay, so this is at the open house. So at the open house, he's saying, is your commission, kind of like that story I told you a few weeks ago.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, is Pauly punking me?
All right.
I'm like, no way is this legal.
Yeah, so for the rookies, I had somebody at a buyer's presentation right at the beginning go, I want half your commission. I'm like, whoa, okay, slow down. So we're not even at the presentation, we're at the open house.
Yes.
And they say, tell me again.
Yeah, they're like, are you willing to, it was something like, are you willing to give up some of your commission?
Okay.
Or is it, are you willing to, yeah, I think it was that pretty much that. Are you willing to give up some of your commission?
Then what happened?
And I was like, so what I hear you saying is you're trying to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, awesome. Okay, so is it more important for you to get some of my commission or for me to get you the best deal?
Ooh, good one.
And
Say that one again. That was a good one.
Yeah, I was
Say
like,
it again.
Is it more important for you to get part of my commission or to get the best deal?
Yeah. Okay, rookies, listen. This is exactly what I'm talking about. People say stupid stuff, and you got to be able to handle it, right? That was a great question. And then they said?
They're like, you know, really we're trying to get the best deal. I was like, well, you actually walked in the best open house there because I'm a master negotiator. I was like, I just got my clients 8.
I love it.
And
Yeah.
I started throwing these stats and they're like,
Yeah. Look at Jasmine's like, I'm telling you, what is that? What did you say? What did you say? Yeah. Okay. And then you said awesome because you walked into the best open house.
yeah. I was like, because I'm a master negotiator. You know, I was a contract negotiator for 15
Yeah.
years.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my jam. That's why
Yeah.
I got into real estate in the first place.
Okay, remember, this is not my saying, but in the absence of value, the only thing to look at is price. Okay, how does that pertain here? Because if they don't understand value, they just think you're a door opener or you're an MLS poster, you know, posting the listing on the MLS, right? Then you don't really have that much value. And a lot of people they ignorantly don't know like what your value is. So they'll say something like that because you, in their mind, you don't have any value. And then you just whacked them upside the head and we're like, what's more important to you? Getting some of my commission or getting the best deal possible? That's a great line. And then you gave them a little positive attitude where you're like, well, you walked into the right house because I'm a master negotiator to help you get the best deal possible.
Yeah.
Now, if that still is doesn't guarantee anything, right? But if they're motivated and they understand and can appreciate value, where do I get that? Where am I going to get that from them?
Communicate, talking to them.
Where?
Pre-listing.
Yep, and then ultimately where?
At the appointment.
At the appointment.
Yeah.
At the appointment. Okay, I got to get to the appointment to like be able to demonstrate that value.
Yeah.
Right? And that still doesn't guarantee you because you still might not get it. Okay. And if you
want them.
Huh?
She may not want them.
She may not want them,
Yeah.
right? But you're pre-qualifying. A few sessions ago, we were talking about pre-qualifying, right? To know that I have a better shot at being able to get them to sign as clients,
Yeah.
right? Because did you set the appointment?
No.
Okay, they didn't want to set the appointment.
No, I reached out to them and I was like, I've been trying to get a hold of them because then I.
So rewind. Let's do it.
My failure.
Did you try to set the appointment?
Yes.
Okay, so you did.
Yes.
They just weren't having it.
Right.
And what was their excuse?
It was more me because I didn't give them. Hey, that was like my thing. You know, I went with. You know, well, is there any other there's a lot of other properties in the neighborhood. You know, do you want to sit down and discuss kind of? No, what I say? I said. I was like, what I would love to do, because obviously people are coming into the open house. I want to learn more about what you're looking for in order to make sure I'm getting you exactly what you need.
Okay, stop. That's why it didn't work.
Yeah.
Because what's the perfect close? You remember?
What time? Yeah. Do you want to meet on Monday?
Nope. What's the perfect close? Who remembers?
My commission is always
What's the perfect close formula?
strike commitment.
That's why you didn't set the appointment.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Value. Strike commitment. Assumptive close. Okay? That's why you didn't set the appointment, because there was no value in it for her. Her, him, them. Okay? Right? So when you said what you wanted, who cares?
Right.
Oh, I'd like to sit down with you and share some information. Do they care about that? No. They don't care about that. What do they care about? Whatever's important to them. Okay, so what's important to them? Okay, we're gonna take a detour here. You guys are not gonna be able to do your one good things. Nope.
Oh.
Nope. What's important to them? Them, Janice, not you.
I know.
Not you. Yeah. See? We're inherently selfish people, out of preservation, out of the need for love, out of survival. We're just inherently selfish people, okay? Even you're experiencing it right now because you're still just thinking about yourself versus thinking about what's important to them. Tell me your name again.
Ruby.
Ruby. Where you
How
say?
much money are you gonna give me?
Right. Okay. So what are so I
They
did.
actually asked me that. So they were like, so we really like this house. What do you think would be a good price to put
Right.
in on this?
Okay, so look, value. What are things of value that I can bring to the appointment? That I can assign to the appointment for why they would meet
Sit
me?
down with you and I could run the numbers and get, like, that's what I probably should have done.
Missed it. I just want to hit the button this morning because I'm pretty excited about using props. Okay, so look, that's what, but what does it do for them? Because we talked about this before. Features, but you don't talk about benefits. I can share with you how to get the most money possible. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Yeah.
Something like that, right?
Run the
Who,
numbers.
who cares? What does that mean?
Yeah.
I need to dive into this a little bit better because I'm talking to a total stranger who thinks I'm a salesperson. And Mama said about strangers, Jasmine, what did Mama say about strangers? Don't talk to them. Stranger danger, and you're a salesperson, so this has got to be clear and definitive and a benefit to them. Okay, super quick, and then I want to role play with you because we're on to something here. Okay, so these are my values that I assign to the appointment. There's others. You should think about what values you have.
They like the house, so maybe they wanna buy the house. They sit down, they go over the number,
Yeah.
submit an offer.
Okay.
That's all we're gonna do.
Yes. All right. Look, I'm just being nice. Okay. So.
I close the deal like that.
Okay, look, this is value I assign to the appointment. Certainty, clarity, how to win, inside info. What's that? Timing. Ooh, good, Miriam. Options. Are those 6? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Those are my 6. Okay? And so with this person, money's important to them because that's one too, right? That's one. Money's one. Yeah? Okay?
Yours is thing or someone else?
Okay.
Oh, God.
So let's redo this because the first approach was, hey, I want to sit down. What did you say again when you told them?
Sit down and show you how I can get you the best value or something like that.
Okay. Not terrible.
Rephrase everything.
Not terrible, okay? And I'll tell you, here's 3 things that people want, everybody wants. They want certainty, they want clarity, they want options. That's what everybody wants, okay? So when for the perfect close, to help people feel comfortable to get to a point to say, okay, I'll spend some time with you, then you need to slather on big fat value, strike commitment to make sure that they know that, hey, I'm not trying to get you to do anything right now, even though later on I might be wanting to try to get them to do something. But I want them to know that this is just a conversation. We're gonna sit down and talk. You're not gonna do anything unless it makes sense for you. We use that one all the time, right? Whatever you're gonna say to let them know, because dang nabbit, the first newbie, I can't remember your name again. Bridget, because an appointment equals commitment to them. So that's why that's important. Hey, let's just sit down and talk, Bridget. Hey, Bridget, you know what? Let's. I'm just going to give you the information. I'll share it with you, and then you can figure out where to go from there. I really need to strike commitment here to make sure that they understand this is not about me getting you to do anything. This is about exploring the benefits that may be on the table for you, and then assumptive close, Tuesday at 4 or Wednesday at 6.
No. I think it's they're missing.
What? No. Wait.
Because they like the house.
Uh-huh.
They would like to. They are interested by us.
Right.
They sit down right away. Go with the number. You can reach to the lender.
Yeah. Why is that? No. Yeah, fine. Good. We talk about making an offer on the house.
Yeah.
That's fine.
No, not the Tuesday. Right now.
It's fine. Whatever. But yeah.
Especially if the open house
Yeah.
is busy, so look at the traffic.
100%. Yeah. Now, later, appointment, sell a house, buy it, doesn't matter. But yes, we're going sooner than. high D's like, no! Right now!
But in this situation, I'm gonna be high D too. Let's do it. See how big.
Look, says the high S. Well, look at that.
How
Yeah.
easy is this? I had this one. I sold my listing like that.
Okay, let's role play it. Let's role play it. Okay? Sorry, one good thing you guys missed out on your one good thing. So this is good though. This is good, right? I like this. Real life's better.
Number 2, what does it say? X commitment?
Strike commitment.
Commitment. So
Strike commitment.
You just say, let's sit down and talk. I'm just going to give you the information, and then you can decide where to go from there.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, and you could say, hey, no commitments. We're just going to talk. Hey, I just want to give you information. I want to share with you some information that could benefit you. Hey, I know, this is the one I always use. Hey, I know you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense for you. If they're a high S or a high I, rookies, the disc profile, look it up online. Disc profile is a personality profile test. There's lots of different ones out there. I use DISC because it's super easy. Just to understand personality profiles differently, it's super easy. So if they're a Thinksy and like a high D, high C, then I go, hey, I know you're not going to do anything unless it makes sense for you. If they're a high I or high S, I might go, hey, I know you're not going to do anything unless it feels right, and I'll do it just like that, and they'll go, yeah. Right? I wouldn't do that with a D or a C. Hey, I know you're not going to do anything unless it feels right, and then Gulai's like, weirdo. Okay. So and then assumptive close. Okay. Tuesday at 4, Wednesday at 6. Weekends, weekdays, evenings, afternoons, whatever. Drive them right in. Don't ask them for the appointment, Jasmine, because they're never going to give it to you. They're not. Hey, is it okay if we meet? Well, I got the kids and I can't really. Nope, not going to. They want power. They want to follow somebody who's strong. So show them right up front you're strong. You did that up front. You're like, hey. You asked a few good questions. You directed the answers to those good questions into your value. You walked into the right open house because I'm a master negotiator. So that's exactly what I do. Okay, now slow down a little bit. Turn that D down for a second. Okay, because do you know their personality profiles? Do you remember?
C.
C? Okay. So remember, C's, fast or slow? Slow.
Detail.
Yeah.
Slow.
Figure out the personality profiles.
Slow. You just listen to them talk.
But you need to know the profiles.
You don't need to know it, but it really helps you to know it.
Keywords are going to be, and just kind of, I don't want to say how they present themselves, but like if they're slower talkers.
Look at the end of the playbook. There's a quadrant, or just go online and look at the personality profile characteristics, and also the words that they use, and then you'll start picking up on they're moving fast, they're moving slow, they're more logic-oriented, they're more emotion-oriented, and some of the other profiles within the personality descriptors to understand who you're talking to. Once you get good at it, you can pick it up in like less than 30 seconds. Yeah. Okay? But you should be paying attention to it. And that's good because let's go with that. They're a high C. So let's go your role play right now on providing value and striking commitment, and then assumptively closing, talking to a C, okay?
So hard for me, that's probably why.
Yeah, why is it so hard?
I'm not a numbers person.
Not a numbers person?
Awful.
Yeah, yeah. Now look, you don't have to be a numbers person. All you have to do is align with the way that they're thinking and communicating in the moment to get
Be
there.
able to provide you.
Yeah.
I'll show you.
Okay, so where do we pick this role play up? Where do we jump in? At what point in the conversation?
Okay, they say they like the house.
They like the house.
I like the house. What you gonna tell me? I do like the house.
So my question was, first I was like, hey, out of 1 out of 10, of all the properties you've seen, how would you value this one? And they're like, yeah, it's my favorite.
Okay.
Okay, they like the house.
Here you go. Bang, there she is.
I like the house.
Fantastic. So do you want to go ahead and put an offer in now?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, let's run some numbers. Let's see what the comps look like right now, and we can go ahead and get this submitted. Does that sound like a plan?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like it.
Okay,
of
what
course,
do
if
you-
the numbers don't- if
But
the-
it just
Push her back.
And if the numbers don't work out, then you're not going to do anything that doesn't make sense, right?
How about the commission?
So yeah, absolutely. So we're looking at this particular home. Like I said before, I'm going to get you the best value possible because that's what you said you wanted, right? So put as much money in your pocket, keep as much money in your pocket.
Yeah, I would like to save money.
Fantastic. So my job is to keep as much money in your pocket as well. So also I'd like to get paid, right? Because we all like to get paid when we work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So my job first and foremost is to get you the best value on this house possible. That's why I get paid what I get paid, right?
Okay, how about the inspection?
What about it?
Did they inspect the house? Do you think there's a problem with
Okay, hold on. We're off track here. All right, I know they say that, but let's keep it on track for the training, which is here. This is what you need work on, Janice, right here, because even right now you're like,
Yeah.
yes or no, right? Do you feel lots of value here? No, come on. Yeah, there's this going on. Okay, all right. Lots of value, lots of value. I'm giving you a cheat sheet right here, because here's the deal. The way that you're doing it right now is to Janice D.
Yeah.
It's not, you missed it. You missed it, okay? Now, would that have guaranteed them to do it? No.
Right.
But it didn't work because that technique didn't work. So let's talk about a technique that will work, right? Which is really providing the value. Okay, so Janice, now remember, certainty, clarity, how to win, inside info, timing, options, money.
So being, as I stated, being a master negotiator, a lot of this does come down to the options that you're going to have. So I want you to be both very aware of what's going to go into this process itself. And you said this is your first property, correct?
Correct.
Excellent. Okay. Well, I definitely want to kind of break it all down for you so you fully understand where we're going with this whole process and how I can get you to win. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Love it. Okay. Well, let's definitely sit down. I'm going to show you how I'm going to get this property for you at the best price possible, keeping as much money in both of our pockets, and get you to the closing table as quickly as possible. Does that sound like a plan?
Okay.
Okay. Well, let's do this. Let's sit down and talk. I'm actually free right after this. I'm going to break it all down for you. I'm going to show you the options that you're going to have and how we're going to win this whole process. And we're going to meet after this class. And of course, you're not going to do anything that doesn't make sense, right?
True.
Excellent. Well, let's just sit down. There's no obligations, nothing like that. Well, let's just kind of have a conversation, kind of get to know each other, see if we even want to work together and get this done. How does tonight at 5 work?
There you go. Okay. You get one, not two. Okay. Okay. Let's see everybody clapping. They're like, okay, yeah, that was better. Right? Hold on. Okay. Look, you were struggling with that a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Why?
You need harsh on you.
Because the clarity.
Clarity on what?
Well, because they want details. Like, I'm a feels, and I know that they're a think. So, I guess kind of talking to that personality type
Yeah.
was not as natural of going, because as a D, I'd be like, hey, we're going to, totally kick ass at this. We're going to get as much money in your pocket, and I'm a badass.
Okay.
How does that work?
All right. So look. Good. Look, that's good. You're going to connect with people like you, but you're missing the boat. We're
Totally.
right now on people who are not like you.
Yeah.
So there's one thing that you're doing a lot right now.
Talking.
Yes, and though, there's a lot of this.
Mm-hmm.
I want to show you. I want to give you. I's a bad word.
Yeah.
You got to think about that, okay? Now what's a better word? You. Okay. So how do you? So.
Sit down.
No. Yeah, you really don't want to let that go, right? You're not part of the picture, okay? It's not about you. It's about them. Okay? So. I know. You gotta break it, okay? You gotta break it. It's about them, not we, not I.
How do you see?
Exactly. So you gotta communicate in a way that is completely centric to them. Okay, so what it might sound like?
Sounds like you really want to keep as much money in your pocket as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what I hear?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's get you some certainty around what that looks like. Let's take a look at your options so that when you're ready to submit that offer, you feel very confident moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
We absolutely no obligation to sign. You're not going to do anything unless it makes sense, correct? Great. I'm free Saturday at 11 or at 2.
Okay. Yes.
How about you?
Okay. I know it's so small. Yeah. Right.
No, that's why I just want to hear.
I know it's so small, but you're missing out on the opportunity to connect with people not like you because you're thinking like you. And it'll be easy for you to connect with yous.
It's going to be fun.
Easy. Okay? And it's not even about that. It's about like, how can you pitch the because here's also you were struggling on the back end too with assumptive closing. You were gonna you asked a yes or no question here. Well, like no. For you, you've come to a few of these already, right? Yes or no question is not as good as who, what, when, or how, why. And you definitely don't want to ask a yes or no question when you're like trying to close them. Like just drive them right into the close. So don't look for approval here. Just move and close. Okay, hey, is that okay? Did that sound good? Kind of something like that you did, right? It's like, no. You're giving them another opportunity to like wiggle out because they're not completely comfortable yet or you haven't landed the plane and set the appointment. Am I going too fast? Am I over your head right now? You with me? Okay, so it's not about this right now. It's about you doing this and then that and then that.
Yeah.
Okay, and so how do I slather on value rooted in who, you, okay, somebody else give it to me then. Somebody else do it. This is the participation portion of the program.
You're good at
Okay? Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'm not D, I'm not C. How can I
Do it. Speak as an S.
You don't have to be anything. Right?
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Want to hear it from a D?
Oh, there you go.
We're talking, let's keep it, we're talking to a C.
Talking to a C
Yeah.
from a D.
I don't care who it comes from. You gotta address the
That's what
C.
they're talking about though.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you are. And by the way, this is the place to do it because you're messing it up out there and you're losing money.
Yeah.
Right here is safe,
So I just
relatively, besides the,
talk to them house. I don't even pay attention in which category they are. I just try to connect with them, and usually they like me, and they are like, okay.
Oh.
But I mean, focusing on this, I think is gonna throw me away.
Then don't.
That's why I don't.
Because what's not part of the, disc isn't part of, this is just bonus here, right? So then don't do this, but do this.
Yeah.
How are you gonna do this?
Value and.
Right.
Even not talking about like,
So
if
how long
I
have
can
you
get rid
been
of I,
looking?
it's going to work very well.
Yeah.
Try to ask them a bunch of questions that they know that I care about them. That's
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah. Okay. Do you set an appointment, average one every open house?
No.
Yeah, then you need more work.
Yeah.
If you're not setting an average of one appointment per open house, average. I know you feel good. You know what doesn't feel good though? You know what doesn't feel good? Your bank account doesn't feel good.
I don't set appointment, but I pick up buyers.
Yeah. But we're talking about this because,
Just talk, we sign, and we go look at.
yeah, okay, but that's not working out for you.
Yeah.
That's
I
the
need
point.
more.
The point is you need to be more strategic about your conversation.
My entire industry, my entire business has come from open houses, but clearly I'm leaving so much money on the table.
We all do. Don't feel bad. We all
Yeah.
do.
I'm just
Yeah.
the point of why I care as well, of like,
Right.
that my whole business has come from open houses.
Yeah.
Which are probably all my Ds.
Yeah.
Because they're all like me.
Exactly.
I love my clients.
Exactly. So the S's are like, and the C's are like, you're moving too fast.
Yeah.
And the I's are fast, so you might attract some of those, but they're a little bit more feelsy. But D's and I's can get along because you're going fast, and you might get excited, and so that energy translates to their feelsy.
So I'm ID is my, and they're like,
Right. Exactly. So you land those planes.
yeah.
But then there's 50% of the group that you're missing out on money. Now let's role play it, okay? Because what's important is not the personality profile. What's important is, and that's good. We can do that. We can play with that. But like, how good are you at assigning value to the appointment, striking commitment, and then assumptively closing? Okay, we're at the open house. All right? And what was the objection originally here? It was
They want part of my commission.
part of your commission. Okay. So,
But that was like I felt like that was really easy to, like, they never asked again about it. They were just, now they're like excited about the negotiations.
She just didn't set the appointment.
right.
Yeah.
And so maybe you neutralized them, but you weren't strategic,
Yep.
and then they floated away, and you're never going to see them again.
Yeah.
Maybe. But as soon as they float away, statistically, you got problems.
Yeah, I've been calling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right? Which is why, like, when the iron's hot, you do what? Strike. Okay? Newbies, you're not just going to be nice and people are going to like you and then they're going to return calls or like agree to something that you haven't even proposed yet.
Yeah.
You understand? That doesn't work. It doesn't work. And then people are wondering, like, coming up 12 months into the year and their license is about to renew and ain't shit happened. And you're like, I've been trying to be so nice and like I'm showing up looking professional and I've done some open houses. I have apple pie air freshener. Why isn't it working? No, that's not what does it. You don't need any of that stuff. The only thing you need at an open house is a good conversation. That's the only thing you need. You don't need water and candy bars and mints. Save yourself, please, okay? Have a good conversation. Some mints, right? Yeah, right. Hey, you need a mint. Right. Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Value, strike commitment, assumptive close. Okay, who's gonna play? Nobody's gonna play. Come on. You're not allowed to come to Power Hour if you. Okay. Are you gonna go, Nicole? She just nominated you?
Well, Janice has been going, go.
Yeah. Yeah.
How'd she do it?
Okay, I just, so what's the objection again?
I want.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, you know what, honestly,
Wait, I thought we already handled that. I thought we were just going for the close.
let's start from there and then we'll role play from there. So if you could contribute some of your commission, Nicole, then maybe we could find a way to work together.
Yeah, Paul, so what I hear you saying is that you want to keep the most money in your pocket. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, great. And so is it more important for you to get part of my commission or a deal on the house?
I'd like a good deal.
Yeah, absolutely. So it sounds like you're just looking for more information. Does that sound about right?
At this point, yeah, I'm kind of in the information gathering stage. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I hear you saying is that you want more information so that you can make the best decision for you and your family. So it sounds like you want some certainty, some clarity around what that looks like. I'd love to sit down with you. I did say I'd love to sit down with you and see how we can get you that information so that best works for you. So no commitment, no strings attached. You're not going to do anything unless it makes sense to you, right?
True.
Right. So how about today after my open house at 1 or tomorrow at 4? Which works?
I'll take it. Not bad. Okay, one more time since it's yours. So Janice, if you could contribute some of your commission, then maybe we could do business together.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is you basically want to save as much money in your pocket, is that right?
100%. Yeah.
Totally get that. So if I was able to get you the best deal on this property, oh shit, I already forgot what I said before.
Okay, come on. Focus. You and me, conversation. It's real.
So what you're saying is you're trying to save as much money in your pocket as
Yes,
possible, right?
exactly.
Well, you totally lucked out. You walked into the best open house right now. because
Interesting.
I'm a master negotiator.
Okay.
And what I specialize in is getting you the best deal on the property. So would that satisfy what you're kind of looking for?
I want a good deal.
For sure. Well, that is definitely what I'm all about. I love negotiating. It's actually my favorite part of the whole transaction. So what would you think if we sat down, I was able to provide...
We're so close.
How do I not so close?
I love this button. It's just... Look, mistakes are free here. Okay? Mistakes are free here. Okay? You really need to practice.
How do you get rid of the word I?
Right. Look, what was she saying? What are you saying?
All the time
Instead
it's
of-
I, we.
Yeah,
Instead of saying
yeah.
I, we.
This is not about you. This is not about you.
Learn more
You're,
about
You
the
wanna tell them
learning.
I'm the best and they don't care.
yeah.
No, but I
Yeah.
want to sit down and help them
You
so
want
they
to,
know.
you want to sit down.
Janice, they don't, Janice, Janice.
Wouldn't you like to sit down and learn more about the
Let's sit
process?
You're getting warmer.
You need more information, you need more, like, you
Clarity.
wanna know about the numbers.
So you want to know more about the details of how this whole process works?
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're
You would like to
saying,
know more about the options.
so you're saying some things that are actually good, but you need to turn those words into words that are rooted in them.
Yeah.
Okay?
You need a master of the negotiation, not I am the.
Okay. Miriam, let's go. Miriam. Yeah, you're doing a great job coaching. Let's go. Okay. Who's this one? I can't remember this one's name here. I can't. What's your name again? Ruby. Come on, let's do it. Yeah? Okay, Ruby. Yeah.
Wait, with you?
No, oh yeah, no, with me. Okay, here we go. Ruby, that commission, if you could contribute some of your commission, then maybe we could do business together.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that you want to save some money, right? Keep some money in your pocket?
Absolutely. I mean, it's just, there's a closing costs and down payment. It's a lot of money.
Oh yeah, no, they can totally get you. So let's sit down and talk. I'm going to give you some information that might benefit you. You're not going to do anything else that makes sense, right?
That's true.
Okay, so I'm going to give you that information. You can decide where to go from there, and it'll get you at least some clarity and some certainty about what options you have. I'm free today after this open house at 1 or tomorrow at 5:30.
I'll take it. Not bad. Okay. Slather on that value. Okay, somebody give me the objection. Anybody. Janice, give me the objection. It's the same one.
I
Okay.
really want to. So would you be open to give me some of your commission?
Great question. For sure. It sounds like that you're looking to keep as much money in your pocket as possible. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, do you mind if I ask you an honest question? Yeah. What's more important to you, getting some of my commission or getting the best deal possible?
I guess the best deal possible.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just
That's all it is.
the money you keep in your pocket. That's what we're talking about, right? Yeah. Okay. So, based off what you're saying, Janice, when we sit down and we have a conversation around your options, like how do you get the best deal? Because that's what you want, is just the best deal. You're gonna have some clarity and definitely some certainty on how to win. Because here's what we'll do. We'll take a look at all the numbers, and then you're going to be able to analyze and go through it with a fine tooth comb and really help figure out, like, how does some of this inside market information work for you so that you get the best deal and then you feel comfortable and confident with it. And look, we're just gonna sit down. It'll be a casual conversation. I'll give you the information. Do weekends work better or weekdays and the evenings for us to just sit down and talk about it?
Weekends.
Yeah.
Now, I've role played a lot,
Yeah.
okay? But I used to suck. Okay? I'm a high D too. So I would use a lot of like, I want to, I'm going to, I got, and this, and me.
Sound like me.
Dude, nobody cares.
Yeah.
As soon as you're like, well, as soon as you say, I want to, listen, you're at the open house. Just slap yourself in the face and ask them to leave.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's a little.
Yeah. I got someone.
But I mean, look, they don't,
Just slap yourself in the face.
that's, you're saying things that psychologically is causing that to happen to them. They're like, I'm not even listening to you anymore.
Yeah.
Right? They're not even paying attention anymore. So like, conversation over.
I've done that.
You can try, but it's like, no. Because it's not so much consciously, Janice, that they're thinking like, oh, all you care about is yourself. It's subconscious, and then it becomes a feeling. And then they're like, no, just send me an email. Yeah. When you get that reflexive, reactive, responsive, okay? Playbook, right? Responsive. They're communicating with you, but they're hesitant in the next step. Send me an email, call me later. Like, you just haven't framed this in a way for them to feel comfortable or to be confident. And so, there it is. It's gone. It's gone. And you had that one opportunity, because these opportunities, they're coming, they're going fast, right? And they open, they close fast. And when they come, and how often do you get to that point where somebody's like, oh, okay, I'm listening, we're talking? Because if you're not intentional about your lead generation and creating the conversations, then that conversation may only come up once a month.
Yeah.
That's a problem. It's a problem that it only gets created once a month, because I'm sitting here with Fernando here yesterday, and he's like, well, I don't want to cold call. I'm like, dude, then don't cold call. I was coaching with Kim Treadaway, who's number 16 in the state now, and she's like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago, and I'm like, stop cold calling. You remember this?
Yeah.
Right? And she's crying in my office, and I'm like, stop cold calling. I go, okay, but one thing doesn't change. You have to create conversations. How are those conversations going to be created? Well, that's the beauty of real estate. There's lots of different ways to make that happen. Awesome. But if you're not, that's the first problem, right? Because once, I'm being really intentional about creating conversations. But if you suck at the conversation, like, you're not going to make as much money. And trust me, there's a lot of people out there who are just creating a lot of effort and making pretty good money, and who are not paying attention to their skill set at all. You can go your whole career and do that. God bless America. Good for you. Great. Good. But I'll tell you right now, if you could work smarter, not harder, if you could talk to less people, if you were more efficient, and you had an easy button, would you hit it?
Yes.
Yes, you would. Okay, this is the easy button. Okay, maybe it's not the easy button, but it's en route to having easier conversations.
Yeah.
But I'm not taking it seriously. What's this conversation worth to me? How much money?
15,000.
15,000? In that conversation it was?
Well, actually, it would have been 17.
17,000? You're having a $17,000 conversation. You're just trying to wing it.
Yeah.
You're just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
That's not how it works.
Yeah.
You gotta-
Maybe I didn't deserve that whole
You,
commission.
Oh, don't say that.
no, say that.
No,
Say
it's
that.
true.
Say
If
that.
I
Say
don't-
that.
If I don't do the conversations properly,
Yeah.
I don't deserve
Oh my
that.
gosh, I got
Why-
warm fuzzies right now.
That's why
Yeah, I
the
get
people
me
that
too.
can argue stuff.
I was just gonna say it, and you took the words out of my mouth. I have to earn it.
Yeah.
I have to earn it. And where do you earn it initially? The conversation to get them to the appointment. Because then that's a whole nother earning process where my value, agreeing to be in relationship with each other.
Well, it's the same conversation that we use the analogy of, well, you can get a $100 lawyer as well.
Right.
The difference is how they speak. That's why a lawyer wins.
That's why you got the guy who makes $5 million a year, and you got the guy who makes $50,000 a year. Because attorneys are similar to realtors as far as like 1% of them are doing 99% of the business, and those 1% are making a boatload of money. And a lot of attorneys don't make anything.
It's because they know how to speak.
They're committed to their craft on understanding the game, understanding what's out there, who they partner with, right? Understanding the game, and then being really good at playing the game. What's the game? Engage conversations, have higher level conversations.
How you pay? How you pay?
Higher pay. Yeah, for sure. Okay, questions, comments, concerns, delusions? I gotta earn it. What did you say? Maybe I didn't deserve it.
I didn't deserve it, yeah.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that was said today. Maybe I didn't deserve it. We have to hear hard things like that sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, because being nice, and there's a lot of people in your offices, in leadership, who are gonna do this. It's okay, no, it's okay.
To the next one.
Yeah, we'll just try again next time.
You walk in every day and you get,
You know what this is? You know what this is right here? That's the clock ticking on your career.
Absolutely.
yeah.
How long can you go? How long can you go being nice, and how that's working for you?
Question, so how do you more, because you're talking about slathering the value. I get the assumptive close, that's easy. I'm free today or tomorrow at X time, which works for you. Value, how do you slather on more value?
Yeah, you slow down. Are you C or D? No? Do you know?
I'm a feeler, whatever the,
Feeler? You're a feeler? I'm a feeler.
this feels good, I have to feel it.
Yeah, okay. So slow down and spend time here. Spend time here. So, because you ran through it a little quickly, but then what you did well is you came back to it, and then on the tail end of it, you started slapping it on the back end.
Okay.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, that was okay, and then you started finishing up, and then you started slapping on more value at the end. That was good. That was good. You can always come back to more value.
But
About to lose them.
Yeah, so that's why you did it, right? And even this too, like I'll redo this, like I'll do this, this, and this, and then I'll come back here because I feel a little bit still of like apprehension or resistance, and I'll go like, hey, it's just a conversation. We can sit down and talk. And they're like, and I assumptively close, right? Again, okay? But if you feel like maybe you didn't give enough value, but you really got to spend time here. And this is the beauty of your brain, which is the best tool you have, is like you have to come up with more creative, more in-depth, more thoughtful ways to be able to express what that value is. The more you role play it, the easier that is for you to be able to regurgitate because you've done some of it. Or even better, the more you role play, then the more your brain all of a sudden in an instant. Because that's what happened to me when I was team leader here for 4 years, right? We were doing Power Hour. We were doing this every morning, 8 a.m. And when I stepped down from team leader role, I was like, oh, let's go. Let's go. Who wants it? Bam, 10 million, 6 months from cold. Why? Because I was just using everything that I was doing every day in Power Hour. And I had some good stuff that I'd say, but because I've role played so much, my brain would like just in an instant put stuff together and go, say it like this. Say it like that.
That was like when he came in and that was the first thing he said. I got so excited. I was like, oh, I got you.
Why did he get so excited?
Well, I got excited when he was like,
Oh.
asked me for my commission. I was like, which before, that would have
Yeah.
been terrifying.
Yeah.
They're like, no.
He says, he mentioned commission and I get excited.
Yeah.
They mention commission and I get scared. Or I get confused. Right? Because they don't hear what you say. This is one of my favorite things to say. They don't hear what you say. They hear how you feel. How do you feel? Now, when you feel self-centric in wanting, with good intention, right? With good intention to like want to give, but like I'm going to and let me, and I have this, and I can do that, and I'll do this.
Yeah. I'm selling.
They're hearing this. They're hearing this.
I'm not showing them the process. I'm selling me.
You're selling, yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're hearing that.
Yeah.
And because you feel that in a good serving, in an intentional way to help, but it's not helping. When you're client-centric and everything's coming outwards on understanding what value looks like to you and putting you at the center of what you want and me being in your shoes and communicating on if I were you and what you'd want and how you'd feel and what you'd think, then they hear, she cares.
Right.
She wants to provide direction. She's not pressuring me.
Yeah.
Okay, so value. Ruby. Want to do it again?
She wants to give someone.
Yeah, give me some value.
Well, what's funny is I tried to write down what you said, your response, and I tried to stick to it, but then you said that it wasn't all that great.
It was a little shallow on the front,
Yeah.
and then you made up for it on the back.
Yeah, so then I don't know how else to add value if I wrote down what you said and I didn't do it right.
I didn't say you didn't do it right.
No, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
It wasn't.
It just needed some more embellishment on the front, right? Because when I did it on my role play, like I hung here for a bit, you know, and I was stacking a little bit using this and that and this and that. And these are not all the values; these are just some values we're using, huh?
Your influence is on you. So how you do, like on your scripting, when you have your bold words,
It's
influence was always on the you part.
right, but it was. But I was stacking value at a high, like, I was just stacking a lot of value.
Okay.
All right, so just stack it up on the front end. So spend some time stacking it. And then that part right there, that happens pretty quickly and pretty organically as far as the flow of the conversation. But like here is where I have to spend this is the gold right here, is you being able to stack some value, make it client-centric, prospect-centric. Okay.
About them, not you. Just focus.
Yeah.
Give them
Okay.
some credit.
Okay, so let's do it. Ruby, yeah, Yeah, so I don't, it's just the commission, if you could contribute some of the commission, that might help for us to do business together.
I see. Okay, so what you're saying is that you want to keep as much money as you can in your pocket, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. No, I understand. So let me ask you, what's more important, that you keep some of my commission or that we get you the best deal for your house?
Well, I want the best deal, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so when we sit down and talk, let's get you some information and some clarity about your options, and we're going to look at the info about the current market, how that can work best for you, so that we can get you the best deal. I'm free today after the open house at 3, and also tomorrow at 5:30. What works best?
Okay, not bad. Good. What did you hear there that could have been better?
Strike commitment. She didn't
Strike commitment? Okay. Before that, on the value. How did that feel? How did the value feel?
It's a little bit gonna be unit level. I think more value. Maybe they're gonna.
More value? I think, It was fast. It was a little fast. We were kind of moving through it pretty quick, right? Because you're processing right now, and that's fine, because your brain, what's happening is your brain's getting new information and it's trying to process it, and then so you're practicing, and then it comes out processed. Okay, cool. That's good. You're putting it together and figuring out how to go from here to here.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. So now that's the science of it. Now what's the heart? The heart is that embellishment of like, okay, well, like, give me more on that. Well, give me more on that, or give me more somewhere. Give me more somewhere, because it felt a little fast in process. Because you could actually say a few good things or calculate a good strategy based off of some stuff that you guys see in scripts. But like, if there's not enough heart in it and not enough feeling, then it sounds processed, and you haven't connected in a caring way. They don't feel it.
Maybe get an agreement, ask them, right? Like, get them to agree.
That's a simple way. So let's do this. It sounds like the next best steps for you, Ruby, is to sit down and get a better idea on your options. Because at the end of the day, I mean, you want to know that you're putting the best deal, you're getting the best deal possible, and that you have clarity with what your options are and like how to get there. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, and so I'll tell you, our conversation when we sit down, you'll have certainty around that. You'll be able to look at the data and the information that I have to bring. Okay, that's C. You'll have certainty with the conversation because after I share with you some of the inside market information that you can't get online, you'll get a better feel for what a good deal might look like, and then even maybe more importantly, like what a good relationship might look like. S's, feelsies, right? Spend some time like really massaging it, okay? And then they'll feel it. Even if they're a D or a C, they need to, or it may not be a feeling, but an acknowledgement where they're like, okay, because they need a little bit more explanation or clarity.
Yeah, it's not gonna be a waste of my time.
It's not going to be a waste of my time because you've given them clarity on value. You've given them certainty on value. You've given them the feeling, and that can happen logically or emotionally.
Yeah.
But spend some real time there, because this shouldn't be. It shouldn't. Even though for you to have better conversations, you're going to have to increase the intention of those conversations. Translation: the strategy of those conversations. These are $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 conversations. Remember, right? This is not you talking to your friend in the backyard about. Yeah, about a barbecue, right? This is a business conversation that can't just be all business, which is why the process is good, but that's the science. The heart is the care and the authenticity of you wanting to like really explain this and share this and give this, and then they go, okay, yeah, that feels okay, or okay, yep, that makes sense. But if you don't spend that time there.
No, and could you, because I do like asking questions, so it's, could you go in and say, so saving as much money in your pocket is definitely the end goal, correct?
Right.
Well, tell me what else is important to you in this transaction?
Just making sure I know I feel secure in understanding the whole process, and not having clear expectations on what's happening.
Got it. Okay, so you want to know pretty much what it looks like from A to Z. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
You'll definitely get that clarity if we're able to sit down, or when we sit down. Tell me, what else is important?
I mean, I just want a good, that's pretty much it. I want a good deal, and I want, it obviously has to be in the school zone I mentioned to you. But I think it's just knowing that I'm going to get a good deal.
Perfect.
It's really that.
So you definitely want to get a good deal. You want to know the process from A to Z. How about timing? How does that work for you? How important is that?
It's a little important with this kids' schools that we do something within the next 60 days.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, after just, you know, these top 3 things we talked about, the timing, saving you as much money, and the clarity of the whole process. When we sit down, you're going to have a good feeling of all of this from the beginning to end. Would that make you feel comfortable going, you know, learning a little bit more about this whole process?
It feels with the S.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just right. Like you're like a soul. Boom, boom, boom.
You need to
For
keep
S,
the
that's
numbers.
high S.
Just
Yeah.
a number. He don't care about the feelings. He cared about the
For
numbers.
C.
Yeah, either way, it was a good role play on you slowing down and you switching gears. For sure, that was a good role play.
That's a way for
But
me to kind of...
remember also is that this is not a bullet point list for you to extract information on, as much as and it could be as much as it is as as tools for application, where I use this as applying how are these valuable to you. That's what you're trying to do, is you're getting, you're sharing, you're explaining, you're giving on like, what is value for the appointment and how does it apply to you? Versus like extracting for information, which is not bad, but the effectiveness comes, Janice, in like you sharing, how does this apply to you? Some of it's assumptive. Well, hey, I know you want to get the best deal possible, and so taking a look at what those options would be on how to get the best deal is something that you'd get certainty on, and that's what the appointment's for. When we sit down and talk, you'll have 100% certainty on like what do those options look like, how does timing work for you, like with your kid for school, and then maybe even more importantly, because you said it, was the clarity on the process. Because there's some things I feel like maybe you weren't aware of, or you want to make sure that you are made aware of, so that the process feels secure and that you feel comfortable and confident getting that best deal. I mean, is that right? Okay, great. Then that's exactly what we need to do. Strike commitment, assumptive close. Do you see how I use that to apply the value to them? You need practice with that. Now, here's the good news. Because you're halfway there, right? The rookies are like showing up and they're like, oh my gosh, like this guy's loud. And okay, is that because you're halfway there, it's just some attention to, because here's what'll happen. You will see results, right? Yeah. You got results and you got halfway.
Right.
Now, the other half is you putting this together on like, okay, what's missing here on my ability to take the conversation to the next level and challenge their thoughts in a healthy, productive way. Because it's not, rookies, it's not about convincing people to do stuff. It's about sorting who's willing to have the conversation. And when I take away the convincing, because I'm not trying to convince people stuff, but I asked some good questions and they were open to it. And okay, well, salesperson, stranger. Okay, once we put that down, because I've asked some good questions, I got to know them, situation, motivation. Then I get to a point where it's like, okay, well, I just have to ask a few. I have to have a good enough conversation to help them feel comfortable or confident to get to the appointment. And that's all I need at this point. Okay, takeaway. Don't tell me. Not Rebecca.
B.
Brittany. No, it's not Brittany. Bridget. Takeaway today, Bridget.
Probably just focusing more on the value, I think. And not making it about I. That's a big one. I think I do that too.
That's good, yeah. Not about me. How about for you, Jasmine?
I think confidence for me is something, and like kind of how you were saying, the more that you run through this, then like hopefully that will come with it. So I think just like, I love the genuine want to improve and like trying that out and you just going for it. And so yeah, that's like gets me excited to keep practicing these things and to hear these conversations so I can alter it the way it needs to be so that they feel listened to and that I'm addressing what they need.
Yeah, that's great because as a newer agent or an agent who's trying to increase productivity is that you can fast track that, the lack of experience or the lack of productivity by having better conversations. And when you practice those conversations, anywhere, because we make money by what we say. It's just figuring out who am I talking to and how often am I having those conversations. But one thing never changes, how many conversations you have to have. Like you have to be able to talk to people every day, every work day, or every day. Because you meet people at church or at the grocery store or whatever. So, okay.